So let's take a look at the process in StarFlow to have estimates approved online by clients. In this case, I've created a typical estimate. I have two options for the client, Director John Smith and Director Mike Press. And rather than save the estimate and send the client PDFs and get them to approve it, etc., let's see how we can do this just using online services. What you would do, and your client has to be enabled for this in the StarFlow system, is over here is a button that says Request Online Approval. So when I click on that button, the first thing that StarFlow does is ask you which of the options you would like to send to the client. So I'm going to select both of them. I'm going to click OK. And the next thing it's going to do is ask you to select the finance person that's going to be notified once the client has approved the estimate online, and you can add comments for the finance person if you want. The next thing that's going to happen is that StarFlow is going to prompt you to select or enter the email address of the client that you want to send this estimate to. So I'm going to send it off to my client, ivan.glazer@glazers.com. Please approve the estimates as discussed. Okay, and I'm going to send it off. Now, in StarFlow itself, here's the estimate that we've sent off to the client, the John Smith and the Mike Press version. They are both pending approval. So I've switched over to my glazers.com email account, which is the account to who we sent the approval request. And this is what your client would typically receive, an email from you with the details of the campaign, the job number, any comments that you've made to the client in the email. Both copies of the estimate are attached to the email as PDFs. And the client also has a link that they are prompted to click on, and this takes them to a website where they can approve or reject the estimates. So the client clicks the link and they take into an estimate approval request website. They have the option of approving either one of the options that we've sent them, or in fact just rejecting them all. The client can also click a link to actually view the estimate if they want, but they ultimately have to select one of the versions that they want to approve. They also can enter in a purchase order number, or if they have a purchase order in the form of a PDF, they can actually even attach it to this approval notification, and they can make some comments to you if they want, but then they would just click the submit button. Now, a couple of things happen after the client approves an estimate. The first thing is that they, in fact, will receive another email from the system, which is, in fact, a confirmation of what they have just done, which is to approve estimate number 26576, the option that they approved and the amount that they approved it for, as well as a copy of the estimate that they approved. This is in StarFlow itself. The estimate now has been approved. The John Smith version has been approved. If you click on the little comments button, you can have an audit trail of what's happened. So the estimate was sent for approval, and the date and time the estimate was actually approved. All the emails that are sent backwards and forwards between the system and the client are tracked within the job. So a copy of the email that was sent to the client to approve it, as well as the copy of the email that was sent to the client after the client approved it, is saved in StarFlow. In your own email account, you will also receive a notification once the client has approved or rejected an estimate. And in fact, this is an exact copy of the estimate that was, of the approval notification that was sent to the client. So a copy is sent to you, just in case you're not logged into StarFlow, notifying you that the estimate has been approved. There's no real need to keep this because, as I said, there's a copy of this already in StarFlow itself. The finance person that you nominated at the time that you sent the estimate for online approval will also receive a notification at the same time with whatever comments you entered here, so bill immediately, and it says note approved online by Ivan.glazer@glazer.com. Please check the jobs email folder for a copy of the client's approval. That's in case finance need to see a copy of the actual approval itself.